Let's do some steigen. Okay, here we go. We are. All right, great. I don't know, did you guys get the, Shalom Ben Yamin, how are you?
Hashem, doing well.
Baruch Hashem.
Yeah.
You're here or you're in Washington Heights?
Washington Heights.
Okay, good. Hope you're
Yeah.
behaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. Do you guys get the sheet? Someone was gonna put the sheets on. No? Did you get anybody the links? No. All right, I'm gonna learn this anyway.
I don't think so.
So let me just tell you, Nesiva Shalom, one of the great things about the Nesiva Shalom, he does a lot of great things. One of the things that he does is he takes the days that are eventful, but don't necessarily get talked about. So let's say, for example, this is the Shabbos before Kabbalah Torah. He will talk about it in the major chelik of where he talks about Yom Tov. And this is Parsha today, but where he talks, even though we're not going to do too much Parsha, but in the major work, his major work, where he talks about Pesach, Shavuos, and Sukkot, excuse me. So over there, he will mention Chol HaMoed Pesach, and he'll tell you what is that day all about, right? So when you're gonna want to get a feeling for what is the calendar, like what does Jewish timeline look like, he's going to be extremely helpful. So I just recommend that if you want to get like a feeling for the contours of Jewish time, it's really important. Okay, so we are obviously pre-Shavuos, but so we were going to do some Parsha, but in general, I figured we would focus more. So someone was supposed to post it. Maybe he will get back to me. Maybe I'll just actually send a quick note to see if he was able to post it. Or maybe I didn't send, maybe it didn't make it. There it did, yeah. Yeah, here we go. So the Nesiva Shalom has a piece over here in the beginning of the midbar of how to relate to the Shabbos before Shavuos. Because obviously, as we know, as is written in different Sfarim, Shabbos creates the basic energy for the week that's going to be coming. So in this Shabbos already, there's a little bit of Shavuos mixed in, all right? So we want to, once we have Shavuos mixed in, okay, it's being posted. While we have, when Shavuos is in the week, so it means that Shavuos is now in Shabbos, the source of where Shabbos, of what's going to be happening this Shabbos is already going to be Kabbalah Torah. There's already going to be a connection to Torah, and that's the way it is in every week, right? All the good, for example, our dear friend Schneer is going to tell you, you got to live the week, you got to live the Parsha, which means the Rebbe used to say that every week has its own flavor, and you got to live in the flavor of the week based on the Parsha. There's something unique is happening. All right, so we have like this. Shalom Bracha. Here we go like this. So we're gonna get the pieces. I'll show you where to pick up in a second. So it says as follows: the Yesh Lahosi Babira Kesher Shal Torah v'Shabbos. All right, so we're gonna have the Torah, obviously, of this particular week. Oh, from the Balatanya. Thank you, Rav Shneur. Gevalte. But that in this particular week, Torah is already like in the air. It's in the air already. So, something, while he's waiting to post it, I'm going to tell you a nice word. There's one of the great Sorim that we have out there is Reb Tzaddik Cohen, called Sitzka Hatzadik. Reb Tzaddik was a Talmud of the great Rebbe known as the Ishbitzer Rebbe. The Ishbitzer Rebbe was lived at the same time as the Kotzker Rebbe, and the Reb Tzaddik wrote a number of very, very fascinating Sorim. So one of the things that he writes is about Torah and how there's different loves that we're supposed to have. And the love of Torah, he says, without a connection to Hashem and without a connection to the Jewish people, is a love of chachma, of just information, but it doesn't connect us to Hashem and connects us to the Jewish people, right? So, and he says that everything in and of itself, just taken individually, is not really considered so essential. So a person loves Torah. Listen, there were Jews that used to be, is not uncommon in the past, let's say 2 generations ago, that people learned Torah and they completely disregarded anything having to do with the halacha. People who today don't learn Torah, they don't know anything. It's not like it's a terrible thing. It's just like they're not like the old generation. But he says the Torah without Hashem and without the Jewish people, that's love of Chachma. To love the Jewish people without loving Hashem and loving the Torah, that's loving friends, right? I forget what he says about loving Hashem without loving Torah. It definitely means it's not yet affected him personally, right? But so loving Torah without loving Hashem means you like Chachma, you like to learn smart things. But that's not where we're going to. So the purpose of this Shabbos is to connect us to the Torah, right? So that's what we're going to be doing this year. Shalom Aleichem, Alex. Okay. So yesh lahos v'bira kesher shel Torah v'Shabbos. Kamoshem Mitzinu od b'Torah Orachaim. The Torah says, right? The Torah was the son of the Rosh, and he wrote kind of the basic structure of Shulchan Aruch that we have today. The Shem Medrash. Omra Torah lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. A fascinating medrash that he brings. The Torah said in front of Hashem, Kishayichnusu Yisrael le'aretz. When Klal Yisrael will go into Eretz Yisrael, Zel Ratz the Carmel. This one's going to run to take care of his vineyard. Zel Ratz the Sadeu. This one's going to run to take care of his field. Torah Matei Ola. What's going to be with it? Very similar to Rabbi Shimon. Omer Lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Baruch told him, Zug Echad Yeshli Sha'ani Mezavig L'cha B'Shabbos Shmo. Torah, you're worried about what's going to be? I'll tell you what's going to be. What's going to be is there's going to be Shabbos. That's the zivug. All right? Ubetana debei Eliyahu is the Shabbos yasek kula Torah. That Shabbos makes everything Torah. Mashma mikol zeh. It would appear sheTorah v'Shabbos tzrichim ahadodi. It seems it's an essential shidduch. Torah and Shabbos. Right? It's not so. Shabbos is not just cholent, right? Not just kigel. It's essentially connected to Shabbos, which we have to know, which is why. Shaloti tolchin shleimus Torah bilti erev al yedei haShabbos kodesh. If you don't have Shabbos kodesh, you can't really have, in a certain way, you can't really have Torah. The question is why? The efshel l'Shabbos below Torah. It's a shidduch. V'shneim yachdav me'ayom mahavim shleimus bebechinas zug echad. We have to know what's the connection. What's the deep connection between Shabbos and Torah? How does that work? What's the idea behind it? Again, I hope you guys had the sheets by now. Thank you very much, Daniel, for posting it. We see by Torah a very interesting thing. And we'll see that Torah and Shabbos have different, like we're going to have different teachings about them, about how they work. It says in the Torah, as we know, the Gemara says this. In Yuma, it says, and in other places, it says, Zocha nasis lo samchayim. If he's zocha to learn Torah well, connect to Hashem, and have it give him life, so then it's like a medicine of life. Lo zocha nasis sam mavis, and it's not its poison. If we sometimes wonder how is it people can learn Torah, they feel they're choking, because the Torah, the Gemara itself says it could be a sam chaim, it could be a sam mavis, right? Torah can go both ways. It has that incredible power. However, b'Shabbos Kodesh, Hari'isa b'Zohar Kodesh, the Maisa, the Zohar that it says that the Maisa that we say for those of us Nusach Svardian out there that daven Svart, so the Baal Shem put in this piece of Zohar into our davening, and it says Kedayil Shabsa Is Yachadas is Parshas Misitra Achara. The Maisa, when Shabbos becomes unified, right, all the different spheres come together, so then it's separated completely from the Sitra Achra, from the Baal Davar. The Chol Shutane Rugzin and Mari Dedino Kulo Arkin Misabru Mina, and all of these powerful forces of anger and of judgment, they all flee from it. Hainu Shekol kogas a klipa borchim and mistalkim b'Shabbos kodesh. And so the klipa runs away on Shabbos. V'nisha rak koach hakadusha. On Shabbos is just kedusha, even though of course there can be types. This doesn't mean it's all going to disappear in terms of our challenge. But in general, Shabbos is a day where the klipas leave. Again, that's also what it says in the same piece of Zohar. Until that, there's no other control. There's no other anything happening except Shabbos. Shabbos Kodesh. We don't see by Shabbos Kodesh if you're Zocha, you get Shabbos. If you're not Zocha, you don't get Shabbos. It could be a Sam Mavis, right? A person can be really very, very far from Shabbos in a certain way, halachically, but Shabbos is Shabbos, right? Everybody loves Shabbos, right? But not everybody loves Torah. Not Chas v'Sholom, but to be realistic, not everybody loves Torah. It doesn't necessarily affect everybody in the way. So it depends. If he's Zocha, he's Zocha. If he's not Zocha, it's going to have an impact him in a negative way. Okay, Sha'az hu rak shilton v'kedusha ve'en chashash kazeh. You don't have to worry about that on Shabbos. Masha enkein Torah kedusha she keneged kol Torah evarim v'hagidim sheba adam. Now Torah has a different. It works differently, right? It works differently, and we're going to be discussing how that works. By Torah, it affects our 613 limbs, and this is an important yesod, which I assume you've heard before, but if not, we'll. That's why I like this. The Siva Shalom, he brings out a lot of main concepts in the Torah Ashkaf and Chassidus. So let me just before I read the words. Let me just tell you something. Sorry, that is something that is pretty well known. But what we have in our physical body is a reflection of what we have in our spiritual body. Now, I have no idea what this looks like, but after we leave this room, we're going to have ears and eyes and a nose and arms, but they're going to be a different form. Again, I don't know what this means, but that's what the Meforshim say, that this physical body is a representation of our spiritual reality. So when we look at, which honestly, on a more Kabbalistic level, which is that's not my department, it represents on a certain level Hashem's, not body, but how Hashem has in this world. So Hashem has eyes, Hashem has ears, Hashem has arms. So we are given a physical body to understand our spiritual body, and also to understand that the Creator Himself, Ki'ilu, has certain aspects of these things that we relate to in terms of seeing, but there's Hashem seeing. That we have hearing, but there's Hashem's hearing, right? So in this world, excuse me, in this world, we can get pulled towards the spiritual limbs, and we can get pulled towards the physical limbs, right? So we have eyes, and we can use the eyes to see the beauty of the world, and we can use our eyes for other things, right? And everything that we have in our bodies, the 613 parts of our body, they all can go both ways. And that's what he's explaining with Torah. If we look at the spiritual part of Torah and the limbs that they are trying to uplift, it could give you life. Well, if we relate to self physically, it's like a death sentence, right? We feel I can't do this, I can't do that. This is no good. That's no good, right? We feel choked. Maybe, and there'll be a situation. He's not zocha. He doesn't enjoy Torah. Doesn't talk to him. He feels choked by it. He feels upset by it. He feels boxed in. Since the whole purpose of Torah is Ani Amarti Elokim Atem B'Bnei Elyon Kulchem, is the puzzle we had also last week. I said that you are like angels. Shehaya Tzarich Az Liyos Atigan Hagomer. Lamaisa, the Bible wanted to take us and bring a situation that our physical reality would be like secondary. The Hatigan Hagomer Any Yochel Liyos B'Yamos Hachol. And this way of fixing ourselves up can't take place on the weekday. But that sort of connection can't take place on Shabbos. I'm gonna just have to remember to get back to it in terms of this idea of the tikkun, right? How we get completely fixed up and becoming really more spiritual. So that idea of connecting deeply, so that we can't do. Again, if you guys have your sheets, if you want to take a look at, so Daniel Baruch Hashem was kind enough to send it out. And I'm already now in the second paragraph on the left side, about halfway down, in the first paragraph on the left side. So the Tikkun HaGomer, any yochalios be a mosachol. You can't do this. You can't completely connect to Torah and collect to the beauty of Torah during the weekday. Because the Meiser were connected to in a very physical way during the week. Okay, Hayamat Torah davka b'Shabbos. That's why, according to all the opinions of Gemara, says Torah was definitely given on Shabbos. Shabbos leishul tana achra, because there's nothing else going on Shabbos. B'kulu amin nakshilton akadusha, which means what the Nesiv Shalom is saying is, it's got to be Shabbos is something to really. Torah is something, in order to get to it, we've got to be connected. It's got to talk to us, right? But during the week, it's hard to have it talk to us because we're very physically involved and physically preoccupied. So when you're physically preoccupied, it's very hard to have Torah talk to you, right? When a person's trying to make a parnasa, when a person's distracted by this and by that, it's very difficult to have Torah talk to him, right? But on Shabbos, when everything stops, and the Yetzer leaves him alone a little bit, hopefully a lot, so then the Torah can talk to him. So then his ruchnius, his spiritual reality, is now, that's in front. That's what's really happening. Okay, therefore, Hosif, Moshe, Yom Echad Midaito, is Kima Shechina Al Yodot. So that's why Moshe Rabbeinu added an extra day, simply to make it on Shabbos. Shezeu Sha'omer Chazal, Ki Talmud Chacham Hu B'Bechinas Shabbos. That's the idea. The Talmud Chacham is the concept of Shabbos, right? This idea. What does it mean? He's like Shabbos. Afilu b'chol yemos Shavua. There's something called the Shabbos Dika Yid. Certain that's an old phrase that some of you guys maybe have heard, and maybe even were zochah to see. A Shabbos Dika Yid were people that were holding like Shabbos. Like it was. Talmud Chacham Mesugal Agil B'Tikkun HaGomor. Lamaisa, the person can come to this great connection. Again, but that's a very high midrakim. It still doesn't mean that they're not connected to Shabbos, and Shabbos isn't different. Shabbos is definitely different for them, right? But in terms of that connection of being ruchni and connecting to their spirituality, they're connected, right? It says the whole world, the elu daika b'Shabbos needs the Torah. Because the Gemara says everybody holds it was on Shabbos. That's why it was definitely given on Shabbos. All right, so again, right? Good word from Shalom Ezra. Very nice. So the Maisa, Rav Shneur says a gewaltig point, which is that an Amma Aris is believed. Normally, let's say in terms of Trumas and Maisas, he's not believed. You don't believe him. Is this where do we take the Trumas and Maisas on this produce? We don't believe him normally because he's whatever. He wants to do business and he has. But on Shabbos the emes comes out because he's connected, not just because like he's whatever. It's because he's connected to his realness. He's connected to his inner self. Right? I just want to make a point over here that people sometimes ask, what is Tchias HaMesim going to look like? What are our bodies going to look like? What age is it going to be, right? What is it going to look like? But that's kind of like saying, well, what does the soul look like? Right? At this point, we can only see a world where the body is the main thing. But we're going to be in a world, and I don't even know what this means. We're going to be in a world we're not even going to see, like the spiritual reality of what's going to be going on is going to be so clear that the body, like, the age is not, I don't even know what it's going to look like, but it's going to be completely, it's like saying, like, what do I look like? You'd say, oh, I have a white shirt. Like, that's not reality. Reality is, it's a much deeper level. Anyway, so that's what we're talking about over here. The connection of Shabbos, which clears the air, so to speak, to get us in touch with our spirituality. That makes it, again, possible for Torah to have the effect that it has to be zocher, to be connected to Torah. Therefore, we can connect to the spiritual parts of the Torah the spiritual parts of ourself, and therefore it becomes a samchayim, becomes like a medicine of life, as opposed to chas v'shalom, the opposite. Okay, again, Rabos, you can post in the chat, or if you have any questions, you can please speak up. Upirish, Nisna Torah L'Yisrael. The pshat of the Torah was given. The Pasuk says, "Im b'Torah Hashem chefzo, b'Torah sayega yom v'layla." Very famous drasha of Chazal. He says a person, when he's going to be, the Torah of Hashem is his desire, and then it says, and in his Torah he thinks about day and night. So the simple pshat of his Torah, the his is going back on Hashem, right? He loves Hashem's Torah. He wants Hashem's Torah. And he thinks about it all the time. But that's a simple pshat. Chazal, the famous drasha here, B'techila nikris Torah Hashem, B'lebosov nikris al Shemo Torasa. Initially it's called Torah Hashem. It's him, which means it's distant from me, so to speak. And then it becomes his Torah. And when it's distant, it feels very uncomfortable. And I think we made the suggestion before, but I'm going to make it again. I heard this from Rav Aaron Feldman Shlita, the Rosh Yeshiva of Ner Yisrael in Baltimore, when he was to be one of the Rosh Yeshivas in one of the top Megidim Shem and Or Sameach. And he said a person, wherever he is, should have a vort that he's thinking about. In general, when you go to a Sheva Brachas, you go to a L'chaim, have something you've thought about, and something to do with the Chassid and Kala. When you're sitting on the, when you're just there's like tons of things you can think about the fact that the sky is the color blue, the fact that Hashem, like this whole season now, like the bees and the and the flowers, and they're all flower. There's so much to think about, or a little vort you talk about, you think about Shema Yisrael, but a person should kind of be in concentrating in a higher state. And like some of us know, for example, are some of the guys over here are businessmen. You want to be successful in business, you got to be thinking about business, right? You can't just like turn on your computer and like, oh, I wonder what I'm going to be doing today. You got to think. I got a plan, right? Doesn't maybe Yaakov does that. He has a lot of siyata d'shmaya, can't you? But for most of us, you have to think about what are you going to be doing. You got to think about what the plan is. So by Torah, you also got to think, what's the plan? You got to be in a mode of processing. Okay. Hainu. Second paragraph, 4 lines down. Hainu. Share amul. Only when you're involved in Torah, v'lomi Torah lishma, the nasis Torah Torah. So then it becomes his Torah. Zeu inyan nisla Torah Yisrael. That's the idea that Torah was given to Klal Yisrael. He's saying a very wonderful word. Let's go a little further. Shetan plik kabbalas Torah he shtiya Torah nesuna Yisrael. The idea is it should be part of who they are. Hashem gave us Torah in order to give us the best He could possibly give us. Like we have to remember that, right? He doesn't mean that He made it easy, but it means that it's the best, right? Anybody knows you want to have a good relationship, you got to work hard. You want to be successful in anything. As much as we don't like this, it's not as much fun as it's not really fun. Got to work hard. So you want to learn connected to ourselves on a higher level, and it doesn't even have to be ruchni. It could be emotionally on a lot of levels. So that's what the Torah is. It was given the Torah that it should go inside of us. Yeah. That it should be, it becomes his Torah. The idea that it's mamish, his is on Shabbos. I have another suggestion. Some of you guys are Gemara learners and reading Chumash. Anybody who like whatever certain thing, whatever you like learning, if you hopefully like, take the same thing you learned during the week or some other time and sit with that on Shabbos. It's one of the things that I don't do as much as I used to. You sit with the piece of Gemara that you've already learned, sit with it slowly, think about it. It's a different world. It's staggering. It's just push it. Shabbos goes into the Torah on Shabbos. You don't have to believe me. I suggest you could try it. But I definitely had that experience again and again and again. That the exact same on Shabbos takes on a whole different flavor. Because the Ezer B'Sfarim HaKadoshim, Levayer, Masha, Anu, Omrim, Chag HaShavuos, Man Matan Torah Sinu. The mice of the commentators say, the question is that Shavuos is the time of the giving the Torah. Harni, Rebbe Yossi, Haya B'Shvi, the Sivan. So the mice, we know, that we mentioned this last week also, that Torah was given, according to Rabbi Yossi, at least it was given on the 7th. But Mevarim, Shematan Torah, Hainu Nesinas HaTorah, Yitzhak HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the mice of the Bereshim giving the Torah, that was on Haya B'Vav Sivan. Kamosha Haya Rotzana Elyon Mikra, that's what Bereshim wanted. Rakabolas HaTorah, Nitzad Yisrael, Haisel B'Zayin Sivan. The mice with our receiving it became on Zion. The Fish Yisrael, the Yokel HaKabbalas HaTorah, called them Shabbat Shabbos. Bereshim wanted to give us a weekday Torah, so to speak, that we should be able to connect to Torah even in the weekday. But we weren't ready for that. It wasn't possible. Therefore, we needed Shabbos. The Shabbos, Nisna Torah Yisrael. So again, he's making the point. We will finish up this piece over here. But the point is beautiful. I hope the guys are enjoying over here. The fact is that Moshe wanted a weekday Torah that even in the week we should be able to connect to it, right? And Moshe Rabbeinu understood that for Klal Yisrael to connect to Torah, we need Shabbos. We can't connect to the depth of Torah without Shabbos, which is now, again, it's going to be this Shabbos is going to be connecting to our Shavuos. It basically, let me pause over here. I'm going to pause and whatever. I'm just kind of reading. I just wanted to say that when we're to connect, so the challenge is that it's not inside of us. It's not part of us. And that is one of the reasons that people don't like a lot of Yiddishkeit, because it feels outwardly imposed. Feels like someone's telling us, do this, do that. Doesn't feel like it's really like who we are. In a certain way, it's not, because in a certain way, we're not connected to it more deeply. Now, during the weekday, again, that's still going to be the challenge to try to do that. But the connected Torah, even when we're not so connected, that's going to be a part of our challenge. But for us to do that, to really continue with the Torah, we actually have to do something which will connect us. For example, I once heard an interesting story. There's a very smart rabbi in Or Sameach. His name is Rabbi David Gottlieb. Maybe some of you guys know him. Maybe you heard some of his shirim. He's a very bright person. If you have never heard him, you can go onto his website. He's a scientist, very, very bright person. He was a assistant, the philosopher and the scientist, whatever. He was assistant, I do believe he was an associate professor of philosophy in Johns Hopkins, very, very bright. So I once was flying with him on a plane. But anyway, it was funny. Like, he saw me looking at, like, seeing him, and like, he had this philosophy book that he was reading. Like this thick, dense, like, who could read this kind of stuff? And he was like apologetic to me. He says, I'm sorry, I can't really learn on flights. Like, it's hard for me to learn. It was like, like, in my best days, I can't read what you're reading on a plane. So, so he told me an interesting story. He said, and this is an interesting question, kind of you could throw out for yourselves. What would be, the question I'll throw out for each one of you. What would be if, for example, you got to a point in your life, or maybe you've already had this point, where you felt like Torah is true. Hashem's there. Definitely Hashem runs the world. You have the Torah. But I can't stand Yiddishkeit. I can't stand it.
Hello.
Chas v'shalom. What would you do? But you know it's right. You know the right thing. You know for some reason, and you don't understand why. But you understand that Hashem wants you to keep Shabbos. He wants you to put on tefillin. He wants you to, say Birchas Hamazon. But you're like, I don't get it. Doesn't talk to me. As they say over here, lo medaber elai. Doesn't like. What would we do? So pretty much all of us would drop doing Torah mitzvahs, even though we know it's the right thing to do. And there are plenty of guys who come to Neve. You'll ask them, And it took me, when I first heard this, when I first learned this, I was a little shocked because I didn't quite get it. Oh, I forgot to put this on the group like this. Oh, much better. Now I get to see everybody. A little slow in doing this. Yeah. Anyway, so it took me a long time till I was like, that people, I'm just got distracted. One making a noise and it kind of distract me. But if a person, let's say, has a feeling like, I just can't do this. I just don't like this. So what would each one of us do if we don't really like it? And well, oh yeah, that's what I was saying. By Neve, it was like, I know it's true. I can't tell you how many conversations I've had with the Neve guys who I try to talk about Hashem, talking about Torah, and then at a certain point they realize, don't waste your time. Why are you telling us? We know the Torah is true. It's kind of like, well, you know it's true. Well, why aren't you doing it? I don't understand. So I was from a different generation. I'm a little bit, I'm like an old guy over here. That if you really if it's true, you're gonna do it. I know that sounds a little bit weird, but it took me a while to be oh, that's not how it goes, right? And the reason we don't do it is not because we're philosophically challenged. Some people, I don't think I ever met the person, or very rarely, that people have really they can't possibly do it. It's almost 99%, if not more, personal. It's hard, it's painful, whatever. But the idea is, when Torah talks to us, when I enjoy talking to Hashem, when I enjoy learning a pasuk chumash and trying to understand the wisdom, when I look at the Pirkei Avos, when I open myself to what the Torah says, then it's just wow, I can do this. But when the Torah is not like that, and there are so many people it's not like that for, a lot, way too many, so then they disappear. What do we need it for? So when people go off the derech, see people that go off the derech, there's no philosophy over here. I'm not saying there's none. You have to sometimes address these issues. But the issue is, it doesn't talk to me. I don't hear anything inside of me. And if it doesn't ring inside of me, at a certain point, you just don't do it. Now, how you get onto that path probably is an interesting discussion that each one of us could be talking about and thinking about, maybe sharing. Maybe when we go to the end of this piece, maybe we'll discuss that. How do you motivate yourself? How do you connect when it doesn't talk to you, when it's not interesting, when it's not geschmack? When you whatever. Maybe that's not a bad idea. Let me just see. I'll tell you what, that's almost like the idea. Let's see. Let's go finish off this piece. Then that'll be official time that anybody needs to, go. You can go whenever you need to go. It's not like classroom over here. But except for Benjamin. Benjamin, you don't have any reshus till you leave yet. You have to bring the slip from home if you want to go early.
Can I ask this question?
Go ahead, Alex, please.
It seems to me that one of the things in life is it's impossible to do anything by yourself. Everyone needs to find a group to hold on to.
Right.
From all the greatest people that got lost, Yoram ben Avat was a huge person. He got lost.
Right.
The greater the person or the weaker the person, everyone is always lost. People go away and don't have anyone to hold on to that has connection to Torah.
Right.
And the problem exists today is that they're not very attractive people that to hold on to, especially if guys have a bad experience in yeshiva.
Right.
And one has to create or have a siyata d'shmaya to find someone to hold on to. Literally, having a Rebbe or a Talmud or a Chavrusas, and that really is the only way to continue living a Torah life.
Right. Definitely. The point is extremely well taken. Anything else you wanted to add on to there? So that's, Alex, honestly, that's what we're doing right here. That's why the idea came up, and, with Psachi, and then we continued it with others, all of us together trying to work to make this happen, that's exactly what we're doing here, which is that we can't do it alone. And I'm including myself. I'm telling you, without you guys, and you guys, without all of us, you can't do it alone. A shul like Neve for years to me was not a yeshiva. Neve was a family. And if you have a family, you stick around. You feel comfortable. You can chill. So So it's not quite as formal as maybe sometimes. But you feel like I belong here. And the shul is for sure like that. It's one of the biggest problems when our guys go back to the States. There's nowhere to go. Or, if you're lucky enough to find it, I think, Alex, maybe you found it a little bit in your community. But very often, our guys just don't find it. They don't feel comfortable. I don't belong. And
it's a struggle. It's a struggle. I can give a share, but I'm struggling as well.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's a very, very big challenge of being kind of feeling like this, like I can't do this, which is why, for example, Kiddush clubs are big, right? Because Kiddush clubs, besides the fact that it's nice to have, everybody enjoys like really expensive alcohol, including yours truly, but the Maisa, the reason is you've got a chevra. You've got people you hang out with. So really, as a Rebbe of mine used to put it, this happened to be a great line. Just got to take it with a grain of salt. He says, you got to, how are you going to listen? You got to choose your brainwashing. You guys got it? A Rebbe of mine used to tell us this. You got to choose your brainwashing. You're going to be brainwashed. It's going to happen. Someone's going to affect your brain. But you want to choose that which is going to wash your brain in a good way. It's a little charid. It's a little bit of a kutzka word. But you have to choose your brainwashing, which is very true. Because you're going to be affected one way or the other. Let's finish up this paragraph, this last paragraph. And since obviously every year there's a new Kabbalah Torah, if we need a full preparation, Zayin Shabbosos, that's what we need 7 weeks, seven Shabboses. The Bechinas Mazukah Shivasayim, like the Pasuk says, it gets purified 7 times. Sheva Shabbosos Tamimos Tiena, it's to be 7 complete weeks. Again, another one of the Kutzkers. Yeah. Okay. No. Listen. We started with our shuls this week. Very across the thing. A big symptom. But I don't get overly distracted. I'm going to do my ADD thing over here. Shabbos Yihiyu. Second page. The Mimos. The Shabbos should be complete. That it means to say Bechina Shiva Nakim. It's like this, someone's tummy. They go through 7 pure days. Nakim the Hakshir Yehudi Shia Roy LeKabbalah Torah. In order to be prepared for Kabbalah Torah, there's David B'Torah that we should be clinging to the Torah. Lagia L'Tikuno Hagomor. Amaralu Shelahagia B'Bechinas Hatikan Hagomor Shaykh Rak B'Shabbos. Meister to fix up everything. We need Shabbos. The command the East, like it says, Me'ein Olam Haba Yom Shabbos Menucha. It's like Olam Haba. Shabbos he Me'ein Olam Haba. What does it mean? It's like Olam Haba. Ein Bo Shilton Asakra. If you ever wondered, what does it mean that Shabbos is Me'ein Olam Haba? Me'ein Olam Haba. Me'ein Olam Haba. See, if you wonder what Olam Haba means, it's a place where the Yitzhar is not running the show. Right? In our world, the Yitzhar has got, his mom is holding the driver's wheel, the driver, the steering wheel. Not if Hashem is in charge, but and over here, that's what Shabbos is. The Hatorah Levada Adayin Hi Ba Kedei Lahotzi Mishultan Af. And the Torah alone is this thing that takes us out from that. Ra Travayu Adodi Koach HaShabbos V'Koach HaTorah Yaftav Heim Tachlis HaShlemus. He's saying something very sharp over here. Let me just go to the end of the paragraph and I'll tell you what I think he's saying. You need it, it's a shidduch. V'zeh she'omer Maran Saba Kadishim Slonim. Again, one of the original Slonim Rebbe's, Spooks the Yogan Olenu, Sherega Echad Mishabes Choshev Kakama, the Kama shows B'Yamosachol. One moment in Shabbos is like hours and hours in the weekday. We know that, right? One moment of Kabbalah Shabbos. You sing Lich Adodi on Shabbos Kodesh. You can do it quick, right? It's not the same thing. The Berega Echad shows Shabbos Efshel Lifo Harbe Ma'od. So Harbe shows like you can accomplish more in that one moment. More like for many hours. B'me'afo. Shekol Torah Shalom Din B'Shabbos Even Medrega Acheres. It's like a different world. V'cheina B'chol Avoda Even Medrega Acheres B'Shabbos Kodesh. Ein Bo Shilton Sifron Afer of Cloud. Right? Because we're not in control. So let me tell you what I think he's saying. It's in between the lines, but I'm almost sure that this is what he's trying to get at also. Or I may be adding, but either way, I think that it's true. Again, he brought the Midrashim that say that Shabbos and the weekday are like a shidduch. They go together. They fit. So he's saying, why do they fit? He says, because there's two aspects there's an aspect of Shabbos, aspect of Torah. Torah, the Gemara says, if you're Zocha, you can get Torah. If you're really connected, it's a Sam Chaim. It's mamish life. And if you're not Zocha, Sam Movetz. It's mamish death. Chas v'sholom. He says, so how do you connect to it, right? And I'm sorry. So he said, but on Shabbos we don't have that. We don't have both. You're in, it's good. It's not, but you're Zocha, you're not Zocha. Shabbos comes to everybody, right? So how does that work? So he's basically saying, and this is one half, the major half that he's been saying, but I think he's adding something else over here, that what I heard between the lines. He's basically saying that, how do we connect to Torah? Torah, we need Shabbos. We need to have an environment where the Sitra Achra, where the Yitzhar is not running the show. And therefore, our spiritual connection to Shabbos helps that our spiritual connection to Torah is going to be there, right? That's what that shidduch helps. Now, what he didn't say, but what I want to add over here is, our job is now, or the task that Hashem gave to us, is to take Shabbos and the Torah of Shabbos and bring it through the day.
Flight with my miles.
Yeah. So it's to take.
From Newark to LAX.
Yeah. Shneir, can you just Shneir?
On May 26th.
Just 1 second. It's something important to his business, but let me see if I can mute him. Very good. Okay. The idea is that ultimately Hashem wants that we should take the Torah and transform it and make it weekday also. So the initial connection of Torah is going to be Shabbos. In order to connect to it deeply, we will need Shabbos. But ultimately, we want to be, then you're going to have Zocha, Sam Chaim, Lo Zocha, which means Shabbos didn't get into him. It means Torah stayed flat. It stayed only Hashem's Torah. It didn't become his Torah. So if it's not his Torah, so now it's Sam Melvis. He feels like he's choked. If it goes into him because Shabbos helped going, so now it could be Sam Chaim, but he can now take that and go into the weekday, and by taking it into the weekday, it brings him life. I hope you guys are getting it, right? So the equation is Torah and Shabbos is a shidduch, and therefore, but Shabbos brings the Torah, Shabbos makes Torah accessible to him. Then he's got to take the Torah and go into the weekday, and then transform the weekday with the Torah that he got. Okay. There was I see just side schmoozing over here. Okay. Any questions, points, comments? Yamin, we're sending you the test. You'll be getting the quiz soon. No.
Maybe I have a thought.
Yes, please. Oh yeah, we're going to discuss just for a couple minutes Alex's thought, but and it's other thought about how do we make this happen. Yeah, go ahead, please.
So pretty much for me, just in general, for me, I during the week, I have like a set thing. I'm very I have alarms, or I'm able to do. So I feel like it's much easier for me to go to even daven, to learn. Once Shabbos comes, I'm into Shabbos, but when it comes to learning, or even Shacharis, it's very hard for me to actually make it happen. Obviously, it's my own excuse that I come up with, but for me, it's just hard to get into the real. I know that I heard if you're learning on Shabbos, you get 10,000 times schar or something like that.
Right.
When it comes down to opening a Gemara, like you're saying, it's just hard for me to actually get into that mode and to do it.
It's a great question. Listen, Yago, you and everybody else is so overwhelmed and preoccupied in trying to make a parnasa and trying to deal with the family and a zillion other things. So for many of us, Shabbos is a time to let the brain go. It's very hard. What I would just say is, if you can give it some form, if you can try to learn 10 minutes, take a sefer. Now it's summer Shabbos is just 10 minutes of Perkei Avos. If you want to do it, your wife, you want to do, but just 10 minutes of let me just take a little time to focus. When it comes to minyan, know what to tell you. again, you can make it for Musaf. Make it for Musaf. Again, do what you can. Try to get something in over there, and I wouldn't spend too much time on that which you cannot do, and try to focus more on what you can do. That's what I feel.
That's good advice. Thank you.
All right. Actually, Rabosai, any other questions, comments, whatever? Okay, so I actually need to head out. Gentlemen, it's really a pleasure. I really have to thank all of you.
Great job.
Thanks.
Means a lot to me. Good. So listen, it should be a wonderful Shabbos. We'll be back. Oh, Sunday, Rabosa. We got a big program coming up. Rabbi Schwab, Rabbi Slavin, Rabbi Fogg, Damash. 8 your time. It's going to be 1:30 until 3. The link, I'm sure, has already been sent out. It'll be sent out again. And thank you, David, for those nice words. Thanks, Rebbe. I appreciate that. Sunday, Sunday we will be all together. Nice, David. On the case over here. Wow. Okay, and okay, good. I hope everybody works out their flights over here on the chat. And have a great Shabbos, and hopefully we'll be back together. For us learning together, we'll be back on Monday if that works out for all you guys. Okay, have a great Shabbos.
Good Shabbos. Charlop,
Yes.
will you be available to talk in a few hours? Maybe I can call you to coordinate, or do you want to just text?
Text me if you would, Howie.
Okay.
All right, please.
Very good. Thanks so much.
Okay, it's a pleasure.
Good Shabbos. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
All right, Ezra was also, I didn't expect to see you on here. I haven't seen you in a while. Good. All the best.